to tell stories of such change makers. Watch Change Makers.
Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Global. I am Tanvi Taneja. We'll bring you all the day's big stories from India and the world. Up first, a look at the headlines. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak cancels phase 2 of the high-speed rail project to Northern England at his first Conservative Party conference speech. Says we'll reinvest every single penny saved from the scrapped project.
So, I am ending this long-running saga. I am cancelling the rest of the HS2 project.
A defiant Donald Trump returns to New York court on day 3 of the civil fraud trial after a gag order imposed yesterday by the court judge. And India's Neeraj Chopra defends his gold in Javelin throw in the ongoing Asian Games. Kishore Jena grabs silver in Javelin. Total medals tally for India crosses 80. Up first, news from the United Kingdom. In his first Conservative Party conference speech since becoming the UK Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak has scrapped phase 2 of the multi-billion-dollar HS2 high-speed railway project due to spiralling costs. He has promised to reinvest every single penny saved from the cancelled project in rail, roads and buses across the country. UK Prime Minister also confirmed the first part of the rail project between London and Birmingham is already being constructed as per plan.
Ending this long-running saga, I am cancelling the rest of the HS2 project. And in its place, we will reinvest every single penny, £36 billion in hundreds of new transport projects in the North and the Midlands across the country. This means £36 billion of investment in the projects that will make a real difference across our nation.
DD India correspondent Julia Chapman gives us more on the story from London.
Prime Minister Sunak says the economic case for the high-speed railway has significantly weakened since it was first proposed. The projected costs have more than doubled and the completion date has been pushed back. Although construction is already underway between London and Birmingham, the Prime Minister has now confirmed that the leg continuing on to Manchester will not be built. Mr. Sunak vowed that the $43 billion in savings from scrapping the second phase would be reinvested into local transport networks, including rail, road and buses. Critics say the benefits to the north of England will not be the same, and that business decisions have been made on the assumption that the railway would reach Manchester. Rishi Sunak made several other eye-catching announcements, including proposals to raise the age of smoking by a year every year to eradicate the habit altogether. The Prime Minister also announced a new education qualification, under which all pupils will be required to study maths and English until the age of 18.
On to America now. Donald Trump and his family business continue to stand trial in New York in a civil fraud case that could deal a major blow to the former US president's real estate empire. Meanwhile, the US House of Representatives was leaderless on Wednesday after hardline Republicans narrowly won a vote to oust Speaker Kevin McCarthy. My colleague Kate Fisher is in Washington, D.C. She gives us more on this and other stories making headlines around the world. Let's go over to Kate now. Kate, can Trump replace Kevin McCarthy as some Republicans are wanting?
Well, actually, it is possible. It could happen. No, the person that is Speaker of the House in the United States does not have to be an elected representative, and already a member of the Republican House caucus has actually nominated Donald Trump for the job, but he is fairly busy at the moment, what with trying to run for re-election as president and also dealing with multiple legal battles on several fronts. In fact, he is in court, back again in court today in New York. And his family business continue to stand trial there. The judge overseeing his trial has imposed a gag order on the former president and others in the case, promising sanctions for any violations after Trump made personal attacks on the judge's top law clerk in a social media post. And the judge said that the comments were unacceptable, inappropriate, and that they won't be tolerated under any circumstances. Well, Trump and his two eldest sons are accused of inflating the value of their real estate assets. DD India's correspondent Will Densler reports from New York.
In a since-deleted post on social media, Donald Trump took to his Truth Social on Tuesday during court proceedings behind me in Lower Manhattan, posting a picture of law clerk Alison Greenfield with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. The caption read, "Schumer's girlfriend." Donald Trump in a caption saying this is the person, referring to Alison Greenfield, that is running the fraud case against him. He says that this was a
For the first time in the history of the United States, a Speaker of the House has been ousted. On Tuesday, Kevin McCarthy was removed as House Speaker, a position that is second in line to the President after the Vice President. In a 216-210 vote, Mr. McCarthy was ousted as 8 members of his own party joined 208 Democrats to remove him from the position. Republican lawmakers said that they need a week to select the next Speaker, and then they will hold a candidate forum. Until then, Representative Patrick McHenry was named as Speaker pro tempore. After his removal, Kevin McCarthy announced that he will not run for the position again.
Doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it is necessary. I don't regret standing up for choosing governance over grievance. It is my responsibility. It is my job. I do not regret negotiating. Our government is designed to find compromise. I don't regret my efforts to build coalitions and find solutions. I was raised to solve problems, not create them. So I may have lost a vote today, but as I walk out of this chamber, I feel fortunate to have served the American people.
Now, DD India's Nick Harper has more on this story from Washington.
The Republican Party for the last 9 months since the House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, was elected to the role. Now, that hard right faction within the Republican Party throughout has had a very fractious relationship with McCarthy. They throughout have said they don't feel that he is able to uphold their hard right conservative value, that he's appealing to a broad range of Republicans and trying to include the moderate middle there as well. So they throughout have said that he is not the man for the job, and that's why it took 4 days and 15 rounds of voting, history-making, back in January to elect him as Speaker. Because throughout we saw the hard right saying that they would not back him, not voting for him, and that's why there was round after round. But the nail in that coffin came this past weekend when McCarthy did a deal with Democrats in order to prevent a government shutdown. He knew that he wasn't going to get enough votes to be able to force through the proposition through the House of Representatives, and therefore he put a deal on the table that he knew Democrats were going to vote for. And the Republicans, the hard-right faction within the party, say that that was a betrayal of the Republican Party and everything that McCarthy should have been standing for. And that is why we saw during the course of the last couple of days just one representative, Matt Gaetz, come forward and say that he wanted to table a vote to remove the Speaker. And that's exactly what took place.
The Russian Defense Ministry has claimed that the country downed 31 Ukraine-launched drones overnight over the regions of Belgorod, Bryansk and Kursk. Russian officials said that there was no information about any potential casualties or damage. The governor of Bryansk said that Ukrainian forces fired cluster munitions at several villages, saying that homes were damaged but that no casualties were reported. Russian officials have repeatedly accused Ukraine of indiscriminate shelling. Ukraine's navy has said that more than 12 vessels are ready to enter the Black Sea shipping corridor on their way towards Ukrainian ports, and 10 other vessels are ready to depart. A Ukrainian navy spokesperson made the remarks as the country tries to defy a de facto Russian blockade on exports via the Black Sea after Moscow pulled out of a deal in July that had allowed Kyiv to safely export grain. The White House has expressed confidence that the US will continue to provide assistance to Ukraine despite Congress's failure to approve additional aid for the war-torn nation in government funding that was passed over the weekend.
The President reaffirmed the strong commitment of the United States to supporting Ukraine as it defends itself for as long as it takes, as did every other leader on the call. The leaders discussed efforts to continue providing Ukraine with the ammunition and the weapon systems that it needs to defend its territory, and to continue strengthening Ukrainian air defenses as they prepare for more attacks on critical infrastructure now, certainly, but also certainly in the winter months ahead. As President Biden made clear, we cannot under any circumstances allow America's support for Ukraine to be interrupted. Time is not our friend. We have enough funding authorities to meet Ukraine's battlefield needs for a bit longer. But we need Congress to act to ensure that there is no disruption in our support.
The European Union is reportedly set to start formal talks for Ukraine's membership by the end of this year. The EU is expected to give a nod to Ukraine's future accession to the 27-country bloc, followed by a formal announcement by December of this year. Ukraine's required to meet 7 conditions in order to start talks with the EU, but the country'd only met 2 of those 7 by August. Russia's spoken to the United States and the European Union on the situation in Nagorno-Karabakh. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said the US and EU approached them for a meeting. She said the sides exchanged views on the situation in Karabakh.
We were contacted by the US and the European Union. It was their initiative. They asked for a meeting to be organized. And the objective of the meeting was, as noted in the course of the meeting, to exchange the different sides' views on the situation. That was it. If this story is now played up by the Western media as some provocative story, then the objective of this US and the EU's initiative was to create another provocation.
That's all from me here in Washington. It's back to you, Tanvi, in the studio in New Delhi.
Thank you, Kate. Kate Fisher joining us from Washington, D.C. You're watching DD India Global, still to come on the show. India's star power continues to shine at the ongoing Asian Games. Neeraj Chopra and Kishore Jena win gold and silver medals in javelin throw. 2023 Nobel Prize in Chemistry announced. The prize rewards for the discovery and synthesis of quantum dots.
Swagata. Welcome to the land of breathtaking, natural splendor, magnificent architecture and rich cultural heritage. From the temples of Hampi to the Mysore Palace. From the ruins of the Vijayanagar Empire to Jog Falls and Bandipur Tiger Reserve, Karnataka's diverse and vibrant landscape has much to offer to everyone. With the largest coffee growing area and production of the highest quality of sandalwood, Karnataka is a leading agricultural state of India. Dubbed the Silicon Valley of India, Bengaluru, the capital of Karnataka, is India's leading information technology exporter. The state is a global startup hub and a manufacturing center for some of the...
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Global. I am Tanvi Taneja. Now, next news of the India-Canada diplomatic row. Speaking on India-Canada relations, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said that the country will continue to engage responsibly and constructively with the government of India.
To have diplomats on the ground working with the Indian government there to support Canadians and Canadian families. We're taking this extremely seriously, but we're going to continue to engage responsibly and constructively with the government of India.
Meanwhile, Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly said that the country wants private talks with India to resolve the diplomatic tensions. She added that Canada is in contact with the government of India.
More than ever, it's important that diplomats be on the ground. And that's why we believe in the importance of having a strong diplomatic footprint in India. That being said, we are in ongoing conversations with the Indian government, and we will continue to.
The 2023 Nobel Prize in Chemistry has been awarded to 3 US-based scientists, Mongi Bawende, Louis Bruce and Alexei Ekimov, for the discovery and synthesis of quantum dots. The Nobel Committee said that quantum dots will be of great importance in nanotechnology and can help develop tiny sensors and thinner solar cells in future. Quantum dots are used to illuminate computer and television screens. Doctors also use them to map tumors. They can also be used to guide surgeons while removing the cancer tissue. And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Firefighters are battling to contain a huge fire in a plastics factory in eastern Croatia. The fire erupted in Drava International Factory Complex in the town of Ujesk. 2 firefighters were slightly injured, and firefighters managed to take out large amounts of flammable liquid from the fire zone, preventing further incidents. Heavy rain and strong winds driven by Tropical Storm Felipe continue to affect the United States and British Virgin Islands. The US-based National Hurricane Center has forecast winds to extend up to 150 miles and trailing rain to drop to 4 to 8 inches. Schools were shut and factories faced water supply interruptions due to the storm. More than 2,500 households remained without power until Tuesday morning. In Italy, 21 people were dead and 18 injured after a bus crashed off an overpass near Venice in northern Italy and caught fire. The vehicle fell around 15 meters onto electricity lines and caught fire. The bus was also carrying passengers from France, Croatia and Italy. 5 people were injured at a shooting occurred at the Morgan State University in Baltimore. The shooting occurred during a homecoming week celebration at the university. The 5 victims did not face life-threatening injuries. As a precaution, classes at the university have been cancelled. Next news from India now. It was a historic moment as the Indian Air Force received the first indigenous twin-seater light combat aircraft Tejas fighter jet in Bengaluru today. DD India correspondent Aisha Khanam gets us more from Bengaluru.
The world's smallest fighter aircraft, the fighter jet light combat aircraft, fondly known as LCA in India, is part of Indian Air Force as the Flying Daggers. Now, this LCA is forming as a backbone of Indian Air Force combat operations. LCA has already proved to the world India's collaborative capability of developing its own fighter jet and a military aircraft, and this has also demonstrated Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Make in India Atmanirbhar concept and taken it to the skies. The handing over of the twin-seater LCA Tejas variant is another achievement in the history of LCA making. This twin-seater is a new variant which is more advanced variation, and as you can see, it is a light aircraft which is about 13 meters in length and about 8 meters width. And this smallest aircraft, with its advantage being the lightest, is the mightier aircraft. India's capabilities of self-reliance in the fighter jet technology is exhibited through this LCA Tejas combat aircraft, and this is going to be another feather in the cap of India's self-reliance towards military technology. With cameraman Uttam, Asha Khanam, DD India, Bangalore.
And on to Indian action now. At the ongoing Asian Games in China, India clinched a record 81 medals at the ongoing Asian Games. With this, India now has its biggest ever haul in a single continental edition. India surpassed its tally of 69 medals from 2018 Asian Games. Neeraj Chopra defended his Asian Games javelin throw title in Hangzhou with a best effort of 88.88 meters. Kishore Jena won silver with 87.54 meters, being his best attempt. Jyoti Sureka Vennam and Ojas Devtale won gold in compound mixed team event in archery this morning. The duo defeated the South Korean pair of Soo Cheon and Jo Jeon, 159 to 158. India also bagged gold in men's 4x400 meter relay race. The team comprising Mohammad Anas Yahya, Amoj Jacob, Mohammad Ajmal and Rajesh Ramesh clocked 3 minutes 1.58 seconds. Parveen Hooda clinched her maiden Asian Games silver in the 54 to 57 kg category, marking an outstanding achievement for the country in Hangzhou. Pugilist Lavlina Borgohain clinched a silver medal after she lost to home favourite Lee Chean in the final of the women's 75 kg category. Athletes Ram Babu and Manju Rani secured a bronze medal in the 35-kilometre race walk mixed team event with a combined timing of 5:51.14. Sunil Kumar won a bronze in men's Greco-Roman 87 kg wrestling. He beat Kyrgyzstan's Atabek Aziz Bekov 2-1. And our correspondent Narayan Singh gets us the latest from the fields in Hangzhou, China.
In a historic turn of events on track and field, India achieved an extraordinary 1-2 finish, creating a memorable day for the nation. The reigning Olympic and world champion Neeraj Chopra displayed an incredible resilience and skill as he clinched the gold medal at the Hangzhou Asian Games. However, this victory was far from ordinary as it unfolded amidst dramatic twists and fierce competition from his compatriot Kishore Jena, who secured silver medal in the event. A technical glitch prevented the official from accurately measuring the distance of Neeraj's initial throw into the night, which seemed to land near 85-meter mark. After a prolonged discussion with Neeraj anxiously awaiting their decision, the official decided to have him rethrow for his first attempt. Despite the disappointment, Neeraj calmly returned to his mark, and over 15 minutes later, he delivered a throw at 82.3 meters. As the competition continued, Neeraj's resilience shone through. His next throw of 84.49 meters extended his lead on the leaderboard. At the midway point of the competition, Kishore Jena took the lead with a personal best of 86.77 meters, temporarily pushing Neeraj into the second place. The contest continued to be marked by organizational hiccups as Kishore's second throw was initially red flag for crossing the throwing line. However, thanks to replays and a sportsman-like gesture from Neeraj, the officials reversed their decision, deeming Kishore's throw legal. In the twist of fate, it was Neeraj Chopra's fourth attempt that showcased his full potential and just solidified his victory. Narayan Singh for DD India, Hangzhou.
So that's it in this edition of DD India Global. Do join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at DD India Live. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.